Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy BA and welcome back to the YouTube channel, man. Today we are finally back with another build video, man. I know you guys have been asking for updated build videos in the comment section. I've been seeing them and I've been working on them. So we do have a bow spear build update that's coming, sword and shield spear medium build coming. I have a PvE DPS build that I'm going to be showcasing pretty soon, and then I also have a healer build that I've been having a lot of fun playing as well. But today we're going to be talking about the possible most fun I've had in New World in a very long time when it comes to PvP and it comes to builds. And today we'll be talking about the Firestaff and Blunderbuss. This build has been absolutely amazing, and instead of telling you guys about it really quickly, I would like to show you why.
Let's go. Hey, she be hotter than the sauna. She work out when she advises. Lil' mama so mexicana. We drinking on that Bucana. We up all night to Mayana. We ended up in her cama. She wake up make enchiladas. I take her shopping at Prada. Nada to spend some dollars. I'm rocking Dolce combined with a double cup enchiladas. Be careful, the guys. How we thought Devin Long. Buffets, number one. These haters really sour like they ate some once. Hey, 30 clipping my pistol, trapping off that Motorola. Man, I'm having too much paper, it can't fit inside no folder. And my money got way longer, and my jewelry got way colder. Got the chopsticks, it's way too big to fit inside a holster. I can't walk outside the house unless I'm strapped up with my blower. Man, the chair all night, I think that sit up like it's croaky. Being social from the trenches really came and feel the smoke. Cause I put my ex's Cardi, he's acting like he joking. Argentina with some mountain splash. Drill. Shout out Julio, my jeweler, diamond hitting like Canelo. I ain't talking about Sylvester, got a 20-pack Modelo. Gotta make me be a legend, and I feel like Danny Trejo. I got a 40 on the table, sipping 40 to a Neho. I really came from rice and beans. Play with a gang that chop a scene. They throwing the salt, they throw tahini. Been rich since 2017. Bad little bitch from Medellin. She super nice, but the head is mean. Can't let these guys get ahead of me. Now, well, I gave me the recipe.
All right, now to get started with the build showcase. First, I'm going to show you guys my stat breakdown. So I do use 150 strength, 354 intelligence, and 100 constitution. When it comes to these breakdowns, I'm not going to act like I am the numbers guy as far as what gets the most damage and what is overall like the best setup. I honestly go what works for me. I play around with a lot of different attributes, and then I honestly pick what feels the best for me. So honestly, in some of those clips, you may have seen me using different constitutions, and it probably didn't show, but I did mix up the in strength and just try different combinations. But overall, this is where I landed at, and it actually has been working really, 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 really good for me. I get really good damage out of my Firestaff, and I get amazing damage out of the Blunderbuss. All right, now to show off my weapon trees, we're going to start with the Firestaff. So I do use Pillar of Fire, and I go all the way down with that. I use Fireball with the first two, and then lastly I do Burnout all the way down because I really, really love the explosion at the end of Burnout. I do like Singe because of the Smolder from all light and heavy attacks. That's really, really important for me. And then is there another one that I thought was like absolutely, yeah, and then this pairs with the Smolder, so you do 10% additional damage to targets that have a burn or a Smolder. So you're just going to be pumping out damage overall with the Firestaff. For like the ultimate ability, I did go with Backdraft, and you just really, really do some amazing damage. All right, and for the Blundy, we do go with the Splitting Grenades. I really, really love the Splitting Grenades, especially with the perk that I have on my armor. It really, really helps with kind of like anti-heal for slowing down all of the healing that people are able to do now. Shrapnel Blast is probably one of my favorite abilities in the game. I love how it looks. I love how it feels. I love the damage it does. It is absolutely a great ability, and I love it. And then lastly, for our abilities, we do go with Net Shot. I am a big fan of Net Shot, not only to slow the opponent's stamina regeneration, but also I use it as an escape all the time. It really, really helps with movement. I know I mentioned that movement is going to be really, really big with this build, and this really helps with movement. Between this and Burnout, you have really good choices to create space and get away from enemies when you need to, or close the gap when you need to. So on to the armor pieces that we are using now. As far as the artifacts, we are using the Tumbler feet wraps, and we did add an additional shirking heels onto this, and I absolutely love the Tumbler feet wraps. Like this is one of my favorite artifacts added to the game. And for the Blundy, we're using Pestilence for that extra kind of decrease in healing that the enemy's not able to do. Then we move on to our armor. For our helmet, we're running Striking Heels, Fire Harnessing, and Physical Aversion. So pretty much for all of my armor pieces, I crafted them using the one chromatic seal Golden Scarab, where you can pick 2 abilities, and then the third was kind of random. So for this piece, I did choose Shirking Heels and Fire Harnessing. I did have one piece before this. I think it had Leeching Shrapnel Blast on it, and it also, actually, I don't know. We'll see when we get to the rest of my pieces, because it was one of the Blunderbuss perks that I had on here. But I didn't have Shirking Heels or Fire Harnessing, so this was an upgrade from what I had there. Moving down, this piece is Shirking Heels and Exhaustive Net Shot. I wanted to put the gem slot on the Blunderbuss, so I did put Net Shot on armor, and it still works really, really well. For this one, I did the Plague Splitting Grenades and Refreshing, and then it rolled Health, which is absolutely amazing. I was very, very happy with that. There was no complaints at all, and it was like the first try, so I was like, man, I didn't have to waste a lot of mats. And overall, like I don't think I would switch it out for much of anything else. Moving on to our pants, we have Fire Harnessing and Shirking Heels is what we put on here, and then Shirking Energy rode as the third perk, which I was also really, really happy about. For our jewelry, we're using the Tanglevine amulet that we got while we were out farming. It has the 15% thrust damage protection. It has health and refreshing recovery. Ultimately, I do want to replace this. I would like to probably replace thrust protection with stamina recovery, because I do think the stamina recovery is where I'm kind of missing out. I do have an amulet with stamina recovery that does not have thrust protection, but I kind of base my gems that I use in this build around having that thrust protection on the amulet. Next, we're going to move down to our ring. We're actually just using the champion's ring, which we'll probably upgrade to 700. I don't know if I'm gonna swap anything out on this. It's possible, but we'll kind of see down the road when I get there. And then lastly, we're using the heavy earring. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I got this out of the gypsum cache from the materia. I could be mistaken, but double check that, because I think that's where I got it. And mainly I use this because healthy toast is a perk that I have leaned on for so long. I'm talking back when mana pots were like a penny, like nobody were using mana pots at all. I stocked up on them. I was like, this is basically free heal. It has always been free heal. And if you are struggling to figure out what to do with your extra slot on your bars, pick up healthy toast on an item, pop some mana pots in there. It works for all level mana pots, so you can put some level 3 mana pots in there if you have some just laying around, and you'll still get heals from it because it's based off of your max health and not the actual mana pot that you're taking. And then lastly, for the Firestaff, we are using the syncretic Firestaff with enchanted, kingly jagged, and flame attunement. So I did have a pair of pants before these that had empowering fireball on it. I do think it is a really good perk. So I've been kind of teetering back and forth between upgrading the other Firestaff that has empowering fireball on it already. So we'll kind of see where I go from there and where I overall end up. But I do think this is going to be a build that I'm going to stick with for a very long time. It's really nice having just multiple builds that I can bounce between. And I do think season 3 made it a lot easier to gear up and have those multiple gear sets that you may want. If you guys are having issues with getting materials and things like that, maybe I'll make a video on some of my favorite spots to go and farm up. I tend to try to focus on 2 or 3 things that may be in the general area and stick to those areas and farm up for a little bit. But I got some pretty good routes that can get you guys some materials as well. But outside of that, I do think, Heart Rune. Right now, I'm still just using the Stalwart Heart Rune that gives you the heal on the activation and the fortify. I do really like not being able to be stunned or being able to break myself out of those really long stuns and get away. That escape is absolutely amazing because I am the type of player that likes to get in the bunch. I try to be up close and personal as much as I can, and I get myself in very bad situations very often. And that's why I can say overall this build is really good, really fun. But if you don't have the overall awareness, if you aren't paying attention to your health, if you aren't paying attention to your bar as far as how much rend you have on you and things of that nature, how many bleeds you have going, maybe you're burning, there's so many things that you have to pay attention to because your health will burn down very fast. As far as resistance, overall, I am running 24 thrust resistance and 22 fire resistance with 6% resistance to all the rest of the elemental. So when I say I get myself in bad situations, I have no slash or any strike protection at all. So you can get hit really, really hard. But I wanted to protect myself from the things that I get hit by the most, which for the most part is going to be other fire staffs, and then other ranged players with bows and blunderbusses. So one reason why I went with no slash or strike protection is because I really wanted to work on my movement. One of the biggest things with using this build that I've noticed when it comes to fighting melee players is baiting them and creating space. The more damage you can do to them in a range where they think they still are able to fight you, the better. Because a lot of times if you create too much distance, I see a lot of the melee players just give up and run off and say forget it. But if you can keep a really, really good distance between you and that melee player, you can bait them and continuously attack them and do some crazy damage. So before I dip out of here, I do wanted to give you guys some kind of tips and tricks on some things that I learned when playing these builds. So I did pick out a few clips that I have to kind of showcase a couple of the things that I wanted to go over. So let's get into that. So in this first clip that I'm going to show you guys, a few of the things that I would like to go over will be patience, closing the gap, and using your abilities as far as trying to predict the opponent, and just using some abilities as utility and not always as damage. So we are playing OPR right now. We're capturing the enemy point and we know we are going to be attacked soon. Very shortly a bow player comes up to us and starts using their abilities. We are able to remain calm and we actually dodge all of the abilities and we are able to close the gap, hit them with a net shot, and then the battle really begins. So one of the biggest things that I want to point out in this upcoming fight is how I place my splitting grenades. So for two cases, one, if he is not running away, the placement of the splitting grenades is going to kind of trap him in a confined spot. Or two, if he is running away, the grenades are placed in a way where they should catch him if he is not able to dodge out of it. So that then led to the fight being in my favor, where we were able to follow up with a basic attack, a shrapnel blast, fireball, pillar of fire, and then the DOTs from all the damage we have done was able to take over and finish off the first fight. So let's play that through really quickly. There's the arrows coming in now. We close the gap, net shot. And here comes the spinning grenade. So it kind of cuts off his ability of where he can go. It did not land, but all of our attacks afterwards did land. And then the DOTs took over the rest of that fight. So in the second part of this clip, we're still taking the same point, but we're going to have an enemy come from the opposite side this time. Our goal and plan is still the exact same. Hit our net shot, do our damage when we can, get good bursts of damage, and let the DOTs take over and do the rest. And that fight went really quick. We were able to land a lot of our abilities that do DOTs as well as really good chunks of damage. A lot of people don't pay attention to the grenade from shrapnel blast that lands at their feet, and a lot of times that is very free damage if people aren't dodging or moving a lot within the fight. So the next clip we have for you, I am in the enemy back lines, and what I'm trying to do is see what players I can get to chase out and get into a safe distance for me to land as many abilities as I can on them. So there's going to be, I think, two enemies that are going to kind of take the bait at first and starts to follow me around. And I think that will lead to just one bruiser boy chasing me around. And in that fight, I would like to show you just how I kind of remain calm, remained at a very safe distance, not too far away, still close enough for that melee player to think that they can land some attack or ability on me, and then try to do as much burst damage as I could. The cool thing about these kind of taller grassy areas is I think sometimes people just don't see where those grenades land at, and a lot of times they get huge chunks of burst damage just because a person did not see that nade there. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this and just kind of let you guys see what I did in this fight and how I picked up this elimination. So there were 3 at first, but I think 2 do peel back off to go take the point back. Here we hit the net shot, a basic attack, shrapnel blast. And between the Firestaff and the splitting grenade, that was some really good burst damage, and ultimately just fully took him out there. So in this last clip that we have here for you guys today, we are in the back lines once again, being very annoying to the enemy team. So we're just using our Firestaff when we can, and our grenades, just kind of toss them into the piles, just trying to see what kind of attention we could bring to us. Eventually we were able to get like 2 or 3 people shooting range attacks at us, and then also a melee guy coming into the battle. So one of the biggest things that I did here is still try to create that space and keep a good safe distance, especially with multiple people attacking you. You want to have good stamina management, so I'd say use your jumps as much as possible, as well as pay attention to what your stamina is at, so you don't use all your stamina, because in most cases that will be the death of you if you do not have your burnout or net shot available to also use as mobility. So I'm going to kind of let this one play out really quickly. We're able to get a couple of the enemies to come towards us, and then we wait for the melee enemy to dive into the battle, and we hit him with very quick burst damage. We land a really good basic attack, we land shrapnel blast, and I do believe we finish him off with the splitting grenades, landing all 3 of the Blunderbuss abilities. So I'm going to go ahead and play this one out. Net shot, create space, burst damage, and he's done. That was a very quick deal. So that was very close to that one shot. Net shot, he comes in. I thought he was a melee. Maybe he is. Maybe he's Firestaff Great Axe. Maybe he's running an Abyss build, because I'm pretty sure I fought this person multiple times in this OPR, and I'm pretty sure they killed me with the Great Axe a couple of times. But we did land a really good damage. So we landed the net shot, we landed a really good basic attack after, then we hit the shrapnel blast, and then we dropped the splitting grenades, and we dip on out. Oh, we actually don't use the splitting grenades. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. We don't use the splitting grenades at all. So it was just the DOTs from everything that we had landed already, and possibly the bomb from the splitting grenade. Hold on, let me go back one more time, because maybe we did, maybe we didn't, because I do have refreshing recovery, so we did drop back and get all of our resets. I don't know. I don't think I had enough time to get that one off. Either way, huge damage. Just try to predict your enemies, and Remain calm, line up your shots, and you will do amazing with this build. I know there has been lots of talks of this build getting, or the Blunderbuss getting a nerf. I honestly think even if it does get a nerf, I am still going to use this build because of how much fun I have using it. But that's all I got today, y'all, man. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in to the video today. I hope you guys take this Firestaff and Blunderbuss build and go forth and have just as much fun in this game as I've been having. I've really been enjoying the actual gameplay with Firestaff and Blunderbuss, and I plan on using this for a while. But if you were interested in any of the other videos, build videos that I have planned, I'll be dropping those very soon. So stay tuned for that. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like the video here, make sure you hit a like on the video. If you haven't yet, follow your boy on Twitch, same name at BlackArrowLive. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.